You thought that guy was me, but it's not. I'm me. You should be able to tell. I'm much more handsome than that gentleman. Hello, beautiful people. My name is Coach Justin Taylor. You're here at Firestorm Freerunning Acrobatics, and we are going to wrap up the last and final skill of our white rank tumbling curriculum, our side-to-side cartwheel. Kind of like what that guy's doing, but better. Let's begin, shall we? It's time for our 60-second skill breakdown for our side-to-side cartwheel, so let's get it started. When you want to do your side-to-side cartwheel, this is going to be a little bit different than the normal lunge that you've done before. What we're going to be doing is starting with a nice big wide straddle. What's going to happen is when we do this, unlike a normal front-to-back cartwheel we'll be learning in our next round, instead of reaching forward with both hands simultaneously, we're going to be throwing one at a time sideways, and the second arm is going to be playing catch-up. A really easy way to start this is to step and lean into it. You'll notice I have a nice big wide lunge, just like if I'm doing my front to back lunge that we learned earlier, but now I'm side to side. I'm gonna be pushing and reaching out with my leading arm. As my hips transition over my foot, this back leg is going to kick up as my arms throw down over the top, leading me into my cartwheel. Normally when this happens and you come down, you will notice the first foot to come back down on the ground is really close to my last hand. Unlike our front to back with that lunge teeter-totter, as I step, I've got a nice big reach forward. And then even as I push, you're noticing that first leg is coming down much closer. That is because our body, unlike a normal lunge where we get to lean forward and bend at the waist, we're going side to side, and our sides do not bend nearly as far as our front to back does. As I come off the ground, I'm gonna push, throw my arms up, landing with a bent trailing leg, or leading leg, sorry about that, I did that backwards, and a nice straight, a nice straight trailing leg. It's early in the morning, okay? It's the same thing as our lunge position we did before, just sideways and finishing here. And that is your side-to-side cartwheel. Yay! This one, like I said, is weird. Why is it weird? Because unlike our normal front-to-back cartwheel that you will use for tumbling as you get your hand and foot placement, I'm not turning and facing back the direction I came from. I'm going sideways. And because of that, you don't get to activate your waist. That makes it a lot more difficult. Some people like these in the beginning, but the most common thing is this. Check out how my feet are on this line. This is the most common thing that happens. When you try to do this, because you cannot move as far to the side, it is hard to put your hands down in that straight line. So most people will throw diagonally across their body and place their hands somewhere behind them and go, yeah, that was much easier. Hashtag tricking. No, I'm just kidding. Tricking's pretty awesome. But that is a common thing. What we're looking for here is to practice it in a nice straight line, because power tumbling happens in a straight line. As soon as you start to curve, you're gonna lose power, you're gonna go sideways, and you're probably gonna crash into something. And as you all know, when you do that, I will laugh. Why? Because I'm a horrible human being, but I'm okay with that. So when we go side to side here, we want a nice big wide straddle. We want to reattach this thing that never ever stays on my chest. Hello, friend. Hello. All right, as we go, I like to lean the opposite direction and start on that foot first. I'm going to then step into my lunge, and as I do, I'm gonna be throwing those arms. From here, it's really important that we don't just try to tip over at the waist. What we need to do is move this hip over that foot. So as I go, I'm gonna go here, and as I throw, you'll notice I'm leaning over. Once everything's lined up, now I'm in that teeter-totter position, just sideways. Now as I set my hands down, I can kick this leg over. You're gonna wanna bend this leg more than normal. More than you did in your teeter-totter in our earlier tutorial. In our normal teeter-totter, you can go here, but since you're bending at the waist, like we said before, it's much easier. Since you're going sideways, and you can't really bend at the waist, you're gonna have to compensate with the leg. So you're gonna want a nice bend here, lean over, and push to jump you up and over the top of your cartwheel. Hand placement is roughly the same. Hands are going to be facing right here, both of them same direction as you, and they're going to be roughly shoulder width apart. The hard part comes at the end of this. So when I come out of my cartwheel from this position, you'll notice I can come here. Now notice what happens when I kept my leg really straight, right? My body starts to compensate. It can't go sideways because of that bend, so it starts to twist and bring my foot back. So the easiest way to compensate for this is distance with a little bit of power. You need to really kick your leg as you start. If I have a big, strong kick off this leg as I go over, the momentum will keep pulling pulling me down the line. If I slow down, which is what most people do, I'm gonna start to tip over. It's like riding a bicycle. Yay, I'm riding my bicycle. It'd be cool if we can superimpose a bicycle, I don't know. I'm riding my bicycle. And then you start going slower and slower, and it gets harder and harder to balance, and you tip over. Same thing with your cartwheel. It's just a big wheel. So when I do this, I want a little bit of momentum. Again, easiest way to do that is to step into it. I start here. I step into my cartwheel, and it pops me right over. You can see there at the end, I have that whoop. That's how I know I had a nice straight line and decent power, because it wants to continue past the end. I have that momentum still going. I'm not losing the momentum, I'm actually either maintaining or building momentum. And that's what you want for power tumbling, because we always want to be increasing that power. If you're losing a little bit of power and momentum, skill after skill after skill, declining tumbling, not power tumbling. We want power tumbling. All right, so we've gone over the main components here. We're gonna have a nice big step, lunge, we're reaching over. Remember to make sure to keep your head in between your arms. None of this arching stuff that's gonna put all the weight and strain onto our spine and make us an unhappy panda. All right, as we go over here, remember we are whipping that first leg down really close to the hand. Our then trailing leg here is whipping down, and as it comes down, this is our teeter-totter in reverse. Leg comes down, chest and arms come up. Really important, guys, as always, any skill you learn, there's one side that's gonna feel awesome and one side that's gonna feel really awkward. Do not spend all your time on the side that feels great. That's good, that's a great start, but we want to be ambidextrous, we want to be able to do both sides. So even though I've been stepping with my right leg, that's actually my offside, that's the one that feels more awkward for me. I much prefer to step with my left and pull myself over. But I can do both ways because I train both ways. And that's gonna be very important for future skills, especially if you wanna mix your tumbling in with a parkour or free running run. Because as you guys know, as you're running around, jumping off on, as you're jumping on and off of objects, sometimes when you're running towards them, you never know which leg is gonna be the last leg you're gonna land on, so you want to be ambidextrous and be able to throw your cartwheel on both sides. Questions, comments, concerns? Leave them all in the comments below. Leave a like, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff that allows me to do this dance. And this has been our white rank tumbling introductory whole skill set thingamabobber. I hope you guys enjoyed yourself. Tune in next week, because we're actually gonna be transitioning over to our Aussie bed trampoline, better known as an Olympic trampoline. The really cool ones, not those black bed ones that you see in every single jump trampoline kind of park you go to. We're talking about the ones that people do triple backs and stuff on. Why? Because they're way more awesome. Either way, all the skills we're gonna do, you can do on any kind of bed. I just wanted to brag about that one because it was expensive and it makes me feel special when I talk about it. Okay, I'll see you guys later.